There's a white powder that costs less than 12 cents per treatment. It kills fleas. Not just the adults crawling on your dog right now. The eggs, the larvae, the pupa hiding in your carpet. All of them. Dead. Permanently. The flea treatment industry charges $165 a year for the exact same result. And the reason your vet has never once mentioned this powder? That part I'm going to get into right now. The powder is called diatomaceous earth. Food-grade diatomaceous earth. If your dog is scratching right now, if you vacuumed the couch 3 times this week and you can still see fleas jumping, stay here. Because what I'm about to show you took me longer to find than it should have. And once you see the price on a bag of this stuff, you're going to understand why. A 5-pound bag of food-grade diatomaceous earth costs about $12 on Amazon. That bag contains enough powder to treat your dog, your cat, every piece of upholstered furniture in your house, your carpets, and your yard. And to do it again in 2 weeks for the egg cycle. And you will still have powder left over heading into next season. That is not 12 cents of compromise. That is 12 cents of the same active mechanism that a $55 flea collar uses. Except the $55 collar works for 3 months, and the bag of DE works for as long as you keep using it. Here's the part nobody tells you. The flea treatment market in the United States generates over $3 billion every single year. That number depends on one thing: you buying a new dose next month. A powder that sits in your pantry and costs 12 cents per use is not compatible with that number. And that is why you have never heard this mentioned in a vet's office. That's loop 2 planted. I'll come back to the math in a minute. First, let me show you what this stuff actually is. Because once you understand the mechanism, you'll never be skeptical again. Diatomaceous earth is not a chemical. It is not a pesticide in the way you're imagining. It is fossilized algae, specifically the skeletal remains of microscopic aquatic organisms called diatoms, compressed over millions of years into soft sedimentary rock, then ground into a fine white powder. The USDA has approved food-grade DE as a pest control material for certified organic farming. The EPA has it registered as a pesticide for flea control. It has been used in commercial grain storage for over 80 years to prevent insect infestation without chemical contamination, because the grain ends up in human food, so the treatment has to be safe enough to eat. And it is. The FDA classifies food-grade DE as generally recognized as safe. Farmers have been dusting their dogs, their barn cats, and their livestock with this powder for generations. It shows up in agricultural extension guides. It shows up in homesteading communities. It shows up everywhere that people kept animals before a $3 billion industry existed to sell them a monthly subscription to a solution. Here is how it works, because this is the part that changes everything. DE kills fleas by physical contact, not chemical reaction. The powder's microscopic edges, sharp at the diatom scale, puncture the flea's exoskeleton. The flea dehydrates and dies. This takes 24 to 48 hours on adults. Because the kill mechanism is physical, not chemical, fleas cannot develop resistance to it. There is no resistant flea population. There is no mutation that protects against having your exoskeleton punctured by fossilized rock. It works today the same way it worked 80 years ago. Now here is the financial math, spoken plainly. The flea treatment industry makes $3 billion a year in the United States. The reason that number is sustainable is because flea treatments are sold in monthly doses. Frontline, Seresto, Advantage, NexGard. The business model is pharmaceutical. You are buying a prescription-adjacent product on a recurring cycle. When your dog goes on flea prevention in April, you are expected to still be buying it in October. 6 doses, $90 to $165, depending on your dog's weight. A bag of food-grade DE costs $12 and lasts a year. You cannot build a $3 billion recurring revenue model on that. You cannot sell monthly refills of something that doesn't run out. You cannot justify a $165 annual spend when the alternative is in a bag at the back of the grain store and has been since 1943. The suppression is not a conspiracy meeting in a boardroom. It is simpler than that. Nobody in a $3 billion industry is going to walk into a vet's continuing education seminar and teach vets to recommend the $12 solution. The economics make that impossible. The result is the same, regardless of intent. You never heard about it. Your dog kept scratching. You kept buying doses. That ends today. Before I walk you through this, one thing you must know. There are two kinds of diatomaceous earth, and you need exactly one of them. Food-grade diatomaceous earth. That is what this entire video is about. Pool-grade diatomaceous earth. That is a different product. Chemically treated, crystalline silica, a respiratory hazard, toxic to pets. Do not buy it. Do not use it. If you are ordering online, the product description will say food grade. If it doesn't say food grade, you don't want it. Harris, Safer Brand, and diatomaceousearth.com all make food-grade versions that are widely available and verified. Now, the three-part treatment. Fleas have 4 life stages: egg, larva, pupa, adult. Most commercial treatments only kill adults. DE kills at every stage it contacts. But the pupa stage is protected inside a cocoon that even DE can't penetrate. This is why you apply twice, 2 weeks apart. The second application catches the pupa that hatched after the first treatment. Step 1. Treat your pet. For dogs over 10 pounds, work a light dusting of food-grade DE into the dry coat, starting at the base of the tail, moving forward toward the head, working the powder down to the skin. Use your fingers like a comb. Avoid the face entirely. Keep it away from the eyes and nose. Your dog does not need to inhale this. Fine particles in the lungs are irritating to any mammal, including you, so if you're doing a heavy application, you can put a simple dust mask on yourself. Leave the powder in the coat for 24 to 48 hours, then bathe normally. For cats, use with more caution. Cats groom constantly, which means they ingest whatever is on their coat. Food-grade DE is not acutely toxic, but you want to use a minimal amount and brush it through the coat rather than dust it heavily. Alternatively, treat the environment only, carpets, furniture, sleeping areas, and skip the direct coat application for cats. Many cat owners find the environmental treatment alone breaks the flea cycle completely. For pets under 10 pounds or very young animals, use the environmental treatment method only. Do not apply directly to small kittens or puppies under 12 weeks. Step 2. Treat the environment. Fleas spend 95% of their life cycle off your pet. They are in your carpet, your furniture, your pet's bedding, the cracks in your hardwood floors. This is why treating the pet alone never fully works. Sprinkle a light, even layer of food-grade DE on all carpeted areas. Work it into the fibers with a broom or brush. Apply to furniture your pet uses. Apply to your pet's bedding. Leave it for a minimum of 48 hours. 72 hours is better. Then vacuum thoroughly. Do not wet the DE during this period. Water deactivates it. It only works dry. Step 3. Repeat in 14 days. 14 days catches the flea egg cycle. The pupa that survived the first application will have hatched by then, and the newly emerged adults will encounter the second application before they can reproduce. 2 treatments, 2 weeks apart, and the cycle is broken. For ongoing prevention, a light application to the yard perimeter and your pet's sleeping area once a month during flea season keeps reinfestation from taking hold. That's it. That is the entire protocol. 12 cents, 48 hours, 2 applications 2 weeks apart. Done for the season. Farmers running 4 dogs and barn cats have known this for 60 years. Rural communities where a vet visit meant a 2-hour drive each way figured this out because they had to. The people who kept the most animals, on the tightest budgets, with the least access to commercial pet products, they found the powder that works. And they kept using it because it worked. The $3 billion flea treatment industry built its revenue on the assumption that you would never find out what they found out. You just did. If your dog is scratching tonight, you now have the information you need. Food-grade diatomaceous earth. $12 a bag. 12 cents per treatment. 2 applications. Share this with the person in your life who's been buying flea doses every month and wondering why the problem keeps coming back. They need to see this more than you did, because at least now you know.